Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. How are you? I hope you are in a good condition. Thank you for coming in our presentation. I'm glad to see you guys. We are from group 1. Okay, let's introduce myself. My name is Winona Shafira and my last number is 77. And my partners Mentari, Fabela, and Tegar, Adzan, Fatahillah. Okay. On this occasion, we would like to present about the essence of science and technology in the Islamic view. I hope the material can be delivered well. Okay, before I explain to the material, I will tell you about the content. The first, the relevant hadith and Holy Quran, and the second one is definition of science, technology, and art, and the third, the relationship between religion and science, technology, and art, and then science, technology, and art relationship in current era, and the last is conclusion. Okay, the next slide tell about the relevance of hadith and Holy Quran. There is an example of verse from the Holy Quran that relate in our material, namely Surah Ar-Rahman, verse 33. Okay, I will read this verse and the meaning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ma'saral jinni wal insian inistatotum antanfudu min aqtaris samawati wal ard fanfudu la tanfuduna illa bisultan. Artinya, wahai golongan jin dan manusia, jika kamu sanggup menembus atau melintasi penjuru langit dan bumi, maka tembuslah. Kamu tidak akan mampu menembusnya kecuali dengan kekuatan dari Allah Subhanahu wa taala. The first contains suggestion for anyone who works in the field of the science, knowledge, and technology to try develop the ability as far as it goes to cross the corners of heaven and earth. Without mastery in the field of science and technology, should not expect humans to get their desire to explore other space. Therefore, it is recommended that humans be challenged to always develop science and technology. Okay, the relevant hadith, Prophet Muhammad SAW say, Amin bi aqala mataramin. The meaning, tidak ada tahun yang lebih sedikit curah hujannya daripada tahun yang lain. The explanation of this hadith is encourage some hadith reviewers to weaken its status or da'if due to not being able to understand the scientific instruction. But this hadith in representation of scientific miracles in the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad SAW. So, even though it had a da'if status, the hadith is still strong and counted. Okay, well, from the Holy Quran, it can be seen that there are many verses that instruct humans to pay attention to the universe, study and research. This is where the real essence of science and technology from an Islamic point of view, that is an objective study and sunnatullah. The universe created by Allah Subhanahu wa taala is immeasurable, and in it there are a lot of things that are not yet known. To increase human knowledge about the universe and contents, humans need to understand science and technology. With this proof, it is hoped the mankind will believe that God's power is real. Humans who try to improve their scientific power are able to capture and develop this potential. Okay, I think that's all about relevant hadith and Holy Quran. The next material will be delivered by Mentari Fabela.
Alright, my name is Mentari Fabela Insyani and my last student number is 95. So in this time, I would like to continue our presentation by explaining the next part, which are the definition of IPTEK and the relationship of IPTEK with religion. So without any further ado, let's go to the first part, the definition. According to the Peak Indonesian Dictionary, science is defined as a combination of various knowledge which is arranged logically and systematically by taking into causes and effects. According to Al-Ghazali, science is divided into two kinds. The first one is Sharia. Sharia is also divided into two kinds too. The first one is Tauhid or theoretical science, and the second is Furu or practical science. This is related to the rights of Allah Ta'ala, such as everything related to the worship, human relationship, manners, good morals, and bad morals. The second is intellect. According to Usman Bakar, Al-Ghazali also divides intellectual knowledge into four parts. The first one is mathematics and logic. The second one is natural science, which are action and reaction. The third is theory of reality, culminating in prophethood, miracles, and theory of sacred soul. And the last is metaphysics. So, that is about science. Let's move to the next part, technology. Technology is a scientific method for achieving practical goals. According to Komarudin, technology also means as a method of applying science for the needs of human life. And on the other hand, the Indonesian Encyclopedia defines art as the incarnation of a beautiful sense which is contained in the human soul, born to a form that can be captured by the listener's senses, sight, or born through movements such as dance or drama. So that's all about IPTEK. So the development of IPTEK is the result of all steps and thoughts to expand, deepen, and develop it. The role of Islam is in the development of IPTEK is that Islamic Sharia should be used as a standard for the use of IPTEK. Meanwhile, IPTEK that should not be used are those who have been forbidden by Islamic Sharia. So the development of IPTEK has positive impacts and negative impacts. The positive impacts such as it can improve the quality of human life, such as industry, communication, and transportation. But on the other hand, it has negative impacts too because they endanger human lives. What is the example? Such as atomic bombs which have killed thousands of people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the environments which have been suffered severe and dangerous damage and pollutions, modified foods which are harmful to our health, and a lot of works of art which are abused for personal gain, whether they contain elements of pornography, crime, or other immoral acts. Here, the role of religion as a way of life becomes very, very important to be revisited. So let's move to the next part, the relationship between religion and its text. So according to Al-Ghazali, knowledge must lead those who study it to achieve happiness in the world and hereafter. So let's go to the relationship. There are four relationships of text and religion. The first relationship pattern is a negative and repulsive relationship. The condition where what is considered true by religion is considered untrue by text, and vice versa. In this kind of relationship, the development of text will keep people from believing in religious truth, and deepening religion can keep people from believing in the truth of science. People who want to pursue religious teachings will tend to stay away from IPTEK, which is developed by humans. The next relationship is the development of the first relationship patterns. When the truth of science and technology, which contradicts religious truth, is increasingly undeniable, while belief in religious truth is still strong in our hearts. The only way is to accept that both truths have different areas in our heart, and religious teaching or religious truth is completely separated from scientific truth. Let's move to the next pattern. In this pattern of relationship, the truth of religious teachings doesn't contradict the truth of science, but also doesn't influence each other. However, religious teachings are not associated with science and technology at all. In a society where this type of relationship occurs, the appreciation of religion doesn't encourage people to develop IPTEK, and the development of IPTEK doesn't encourage people to deepen and live up to religious teachings. And the last kind of relationship is positive relationship. The occurrence of this kind of relationship requires that there is no conflict between religious teachings and science, as well as non-secular community life. In theory, this relationship pattern can occur in three forms. Religious teaching support IPTEK, but IPTEK doesn't support religious teaching. IPTEK support religious teachings, but religious teaching doesn't support IPTEK. And the last is that religious teachings support IPTEK and vice versa. So, there are four kind of relationship, and I have explained it to you all. And I think that's enough from me. Let us move to the next part, which will be explained by Tegar, Adzan, Fatahillah. The time is yours. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Tegar and I will present about the science, technology, and art relationship in the current era. The pattern of relation between religion and science and technology in Indonesia is not at the stage to choose each other. It is hoped that religious development will not hamper it. Science and technology development is expected to not interfere with science and technology development of religious life. Conflict arising between two resolved wisdom today, science and technology occupies a very important position in development second national long term in Indonesia. Mastery of science and technology even associated with the success of national development. However, in the Indonesian nation too realized that the development of science and technology, besides having a positive impact, too can have a negative impact on existing religious and cultural values by the Indonesian people. The next is conclusion. The advancement of science and technology is a big challenge for us. Whatever we are able to face this challenge depends on personal guidelines. The development science technology is art in all steps and thought that we should expand and go deeper. Among the attitudes towards the progress of science and technology, there are three groups, namely 1. The group that considers modern science and technology to be neutral and trying to legitimize the result of modern science and technology by looking for first the Quran accordingly. Second, Groups working with the modern science and technology, however, trying to also study the history and philosophy of science in order to filter out un-Islamic elements. Groups that believe in Islamic element and technology trying to build it. The development of science and technology is the result of all steps and thought for expand and deepen and develop science and technology. From the description above, you can it's understood the main role of Islam and the development of science and technology, at least there. At least there too. First, making Islamic Aqidah as a paradigm of thought as science knowledge. Second, making Islamic Sharia and standard for the use of science and technology, so Islam Sharia, not the standard of benefit, should be used as benchmark for Muslims in applying science and technology. Bye. Maybe it is all from us. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.